Hey everybody, Retrofied here, and today is day 10 in this month-long marathon leading up to the Switch 2's launch. And for today's video, I wanted to talk about my favorite video game franchise ever, Luigi's Mansion. With the latest entry in the series being from 2019, which was Luigi's Mansion 3, we should be getting a fourth game soon. So if you guys are excited about the Switch 2 and excited about possibly another Luigi's Mansion, then leave a comment and a like below telling me about what else you're excited about for the Switch 2. Alright, so first off, the Switch 2, like I've said in previous videos, is a beast when it comes to power. So this game could really take advantage of that. Like, Luigi's Mansion 3 had amazing graphics, probably one of the best looking games on the Switch, but Luigi's Mansion 4 could use the power in the world and in the environment around Luigi. So with Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza so far, we've seen that Nintendo's kind of going in a route of redoing their games for a new audience, for a new era of Nintendo. So I think Luigi's Mansion could be the next big franchise that has that happen to it. We've already seen Luigi's Mansion be redone before because the first game was entirely different from the second game, and the third game was entirely different from the second game. But each game has similar components in all of them, with Luigi's Mansion 3 being more similar to Luigi's Mansion 1, with the return of the portrait ghost and more of a open air, exploring rather than the mission-based game that Luigi's Mansion 2 was. So I think we could be seeing a complete redo of the Luigi's Mansion series again. And I've always thought of more ideas of what they could do with the franchise, but I think one really wild, out there thing they could do with the series is make the game like the Ghostbusters video game.
When the city quakes in fear, when there's no one to turn to, who are you gonna call?
So if you've ever played the Ghostbusters video game, you know that it's kind of open, but it's also linear, where you go from place to place, but you're in that place for what feels like an entire game. So what I mean by this is we could be seeing something that is like Luigi's Mansion 2 with the multiple mansions, but rather than them being small mission based, you go in, do some task, and then come back out, it could be more of the size of a mansion in Luigi's Mansion 1, but spread across 5 different mansions. So we could have 5 mansions the size of Luigi's Mansion 1's mansion. Because in Luigi's Mansion 1, the rooms are a lot smaller. With Luigi's Mansion 3, you go to a different floor, and each floor is completely different, and it has its own probably hour-long storyline to it. And there are, I think, 15 floors. But imagine if we had something the size of Luigi's Mansion 1's mansion spread across a bunch of different places, all with their own themes. Now, one thing Nintendo really likes to do is they remaster games they want people to play. And you might think that is such a stupid statement because obviously they want people to play their games. But what I mean by that is they remaster games whenever a new game is coming out that relates to that game. Like with Skyward Sword HD, they remastered that because Tears of the Kingdom was coming out, and those games, kind of have a little parallel with the Sky Islands and, Ganondorf being this like demon king. So it's possible they remastered Luigi's Mansion 2 on the Switch for people to play it. So let's say they actually do that open 5 mansion. What could we see in this game? So if we were to think of a storyline, what would this game have in it that would relate to that open 5, maybe 6 mansion? So if we were to think of a story that could be incorporated in this multiple mansion concept, I would like to see Luigi kind of having his own business relating to ghost hunting. He's been doing it for so many times now, and these games are all canon to one another. It's not like it's just Luigi going on another adventure. We see in Luigi's Mansion 2 that he lives in a house from Luigi's Mansion 1 that was built after the mansion disappeared. And in Luigi's Mansion 3, we see so many references to the second game and even the first game with a lot of the things that King Boo says and Helen Gravely say. So these games are all connected to each other. And I think since this game could reinvent the franchise, I'd like to honestly see Mario not be the one who's gotten kidnapped. I think it'd be very cool if Mario worked with Luigi on this business, or even some other character like Wario or Waluigi work with Luigi in this business, and then maybe later in the game Mario gets kidnapped while out on a job with him. So gameplay wise, I don't think we're gonna be seeing the return of Luigi. if we were to have, Mario be a character in it rather than being the damsel in distress like he usually is, I think he'd be a perfect second character, and to kind of give Luigi that being player 1 while Mario is player 2, because it's always been the other way around in every single Mario game. I would like to see the gameplay be reinvented somehow with the ghost catching, instead of being how it is in 2 and 3, where you kind of get a hold on them and then you can press A to like zap them and make them go quicker. For the ghost design, I'd love to see something new. The ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 3 were very, very similar to the ghosts in Luigi's Mansion 2, while in Luigi's Mansion 1 they look completely different. So I'd like to see something that is, like I said, completely different. I think it'd be cool to see another gimmick to the game. It would be very cool if Luigi had multiple poltergusts that he could use that had different, attachments to in different ways to get certain ghosts. Maybe certain ghosts couldn't be captured with his regular one and he'd have to pull out some zapper poltergust to get that ghost. I think it'd be very cool to get different nozzles throughout the game that you could use to beat these more difficult ghosts that come throughout the game. So now lastly, what would be the release date for this game? While I'd love to see this game come out this year, I don't know if we're necessarily going to get it this year, but we never know. We could see it in the direct and they could say, oh, it comes out tomorrow. You never know with Nintendo. But if what I said about Nintendo bringing back Luigi's Mansion 2 to test the waters, then this game could be far away. So yeah, that kind of concludes my idea for Luigi's Mansion 4. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below and what you think this game could be about. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.